Well, good afternoon, magandang hapon, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. A little bit different intro this morning. Our intro is on our way back from an event that we're going to show you here in just a few minutes. Remember, I said earlier this week that we were invited, or I was invited, to be a guest speaker, the guest speaker at today's Rotary Club for Lipa South, here in Lipa, Batangas. So that's what we just came back from. You know, we still haven't gotten out of our clothes from the event. It was quite an event today. It was very enjoyable. There was. I'm going to probably talk about it a little bit in just here, and I'm going to show you. We actually took some videos of today's episode during the Lipa South meeting. So anyway, sit back, relax, and enjoy the next. It's mainly me talking up on there. I think that's what I turned on the cameras. I wanted to make sure that I had enough battery life to make it through. And you know, I was restricted to about 20 minutes worth of speaking. I guarantee you, it was way more than 30 minutes. But you know what? One thing about the Philippines and the Philippine people, they are too kind to tell you that you're talking too much and you've been up there for too long. So I felt at home. Today in today's meeting, and they were very, very kind, and it was a very great event. And I think we had a great time. Oh, and I got a certificate. And we'll talk about the certificate here at the conclusion of today's video. So sit back, relax, and hopefully enjoy today's episode of the Lipa South District 3820. Meeting that I did guest speaking today. So without further delay, let's get today's video underway.
Tatay niya na maging surgeon, great surgeon yung son niya, yung father to son, ano? Sabi nga great surgeon someday. I believe that my youngest son would be a great surgeon someday. Boasted the father to a friend. Just imagine, I caught him using the scissors on a book, and before I could stop him, he cut out the appendix. Doc?
Talagang Ben? Go.
Okay. Ito, marami itong nakalistang ito dito. Babasahin ko isa-isa. What is the difference between stress, tension, and panic? The answer is stress is when wife is pregnant. Tension is when girlfriend is pregnant. And panic is when both are pregnant. Okay?
Last na ito ha, wala na susunod.
May extra akong joke. Ari tungkol sa magnanakaw at politiko. Ano ang pagkakaiba ng dalawa? Ang magnanakaw kasi, magnanakaw muna bago tumakbo. Ang politiko, tatakbo muna bago depresya.
Okay, folks, fellow Rotarians, I would like to introduce to you our guest speaker for today. His name is James Tanner. He is a 61-year-old American retiree who has made a home here in the Philippines and specifically here in Lipa. His YouTube channel, My PI Dream, is a tribute to fulfill his longtime dream to live and retire in what he considers one of the best kept secrets in the world, the Philippines. Fellow retirees, fellow retirees, guests, James Tanner.
Good afternoon, magandang hapon, and that was quite the introduction. I got to tell you, I've never been to a meeting that started off the meeting with a karaoke, videoke. What do they call it? Videoke. I got to tell you, if we had this in the U.S., if they opened up, say the Democrats and the Republicans opened up with a videoke, I think this government wouldn't be shut down right now, and I think we would get a lot of things accomplished in the U.S. But that was great. Thank you very much for that. I got to tell you, I want to thank everybody here for inviting me out. Specifically, this has to do a lot with the power of social media. This is basic. This would be like our outline, the why. Why are we doing all this inside the Philippines? And what I'm going to be talking about a little bit today is where it all began. What was the seed that brought me into the Philippines? Brought me to Lipa specifically. I'm going to talk about why the Philippines was my logical choice of retirement, and why it should be the logical choice of retirement for a lot of other people, regardless of whether they're from the Filipinos themselves, or people from the international community. Retirement strategy. A lot of people don't really have a retirement strategy, so I want to talk about my retirement strategy just a little bit, brush on that. I want to talk about what basically Edgar wanted me to talk about today. And that's why, excuse me for the cameras inside of the camera, I'm doing this actually for Edgar. We're going to go ahead and produce a vlog for today's episode. And he wants to see what happened in his home chapter here in Lipa. So that's why we're doing the cameras. Why I became a vlogger on YouTube. We're going to talk about the channel itself, some of the specifics about the channel, the challenges of being a YouTube vlogger. And my final conclusion of the day is going to be my thoughts on the Philippines. Now, the seed. Every decision that you ever make in your life starts with a seed. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's what you want to be when you grow up, where you want to reside, the type of a car that you want to buy, something like that. There's a seed that's planted inside your head. So for the Philippines, for me, the seed was planted when I was a child. I got to tell you, I grew up in the 50s. I'm telling my age here right now. But I grew up in the 50s, and all we had was black and white TV back then. But the thing that I enjoyed the most on the television shows that I used to watch, I used to love those things when people got stranded on a deserted island out in the middle of the ocean somewhere. And when people would think that's a tragedy, I always thought that would be so cool to be sleeping every night under coconut trees. Well, maybe not so much under coconut trees around here because you see they fall on your head. And you have to be careful about that. But I always thought about someplace in the tropics. I wanted to live someplace where 365 days of the year I had sunshine, I had growth, everything was green. I love landscaping, I love working out in the yard, I love gardening. So that was the seed that was planted when I was a small boy. Then that seed was planted. I want to move somewhere. And one of the best places is someplace in the Pacific. And this was long before I met my asawa, Ness, over here. A long time. But she was my destiny, I can tell you right now. She was written in a roadmap that I had nothing to know about. Right? The next category is about thinking about retirement. Although back then we weren't thinking about retirement quite so much, it came along at some point. Everybody, a lot of the people in there's a lot of younger people inside in this group inside here today, but there are a lot of people that are our age also. So we all think about retirement at some point. A lot of times you should think about retirement early. It's very good to start planning very early if you can, as early as possible. So Ness and I had to decide when and where to retire. So the next thing I have on there is each question is dependent upon each other. When you decide where you want to retire, whether it's at home or someplace else around the world, the cost factor is going to come into place, right? You have to have resources. You have to have money to be able to retire somewhere. So for me, the question is, do we want to retire in the United States or do we want to retire in the Philippines? And I'll talk about why the Philippines was one of the two choices here. But obviously, the choice was very easy for us and has to do with cost of living and also where would our quality of life be the best. The Philippines was our logical choice and it was a no-brainer for me. And it has to do with this is where Ness grew up. This is our home. Lipa is our home. She went to Mabini Academy right here. She also went to the University of Philippines in Quezon City. This is her home. This is where her family is. This is where her friends are here in the Philippines. So I didn't have a choice about where. I knew I wanted to move to the Philippines, but the choice for Lipa was very simple, and it was really based upon my wife. Language. I will tell you, when people think about where they want to retire, if you want to retire overseas, and I knew it had to be somewhere in the Pacific. Remember that little story I talked about the tropical island somewhere, 365 days? I had to find some place that spoke my language. And I will tell you, the number one place in the Pacific, the number one place in Asia, is the Philippines. The two languages you learn in your school, your native language, Tagalog or Visayan or whatever, or English. That's the number two. So it's it's been very easy on me and any English-speaking countrymen to come over here and immerse themselves inside the Philippines. So that was a big factor. Cost of living. I got to tell you, when it comes to building a house that we're going to talk about later on, when it comes to dining out, when it comes to services, having people help you out with your house, a gardener or something, for instance. In the Philippines, it's very affordable to live, and it's very affordable to live comfortable inside the Philippines. And the culture and its people. And you see, I wrote people all in capitals. And the reason I put people because in the Philippines, the Philippine people are its biggest resource and it's its biggest asset inside the Philippines. I see that every single day, no matter what. I see that every day. Anyway, questions about retiring. The reason, why did I create my channel? My channel's name is My PI Dream. Why did I create the channel? And while I was sitting there, I knew I had to do research. Remember I talked about the planning for buying and building here inside the Philippines? I needed information. I needed information about what it takes to build inside the Philippines. I know about building in the United States. My dad was a contractor. He taught me. I worked with him. I know how to build a wood house. I don't know how to build a concrete house. I do now, but I didn't at that point right there. So I needed answers. I needed answers. How do I get permits? Where do I buy? Do I build myself? Do I do Arawan, Pacquiao? What do I do? How do I want to build up here? I need other things. I'm going to move to the Philippines. I need to know how to get a driver's license. I need to know how to buy a car. I need to know how to go shopping. I need to know how to open up a bank account. I need so much information. I scoured the internet. But anyway, the thing is, you go on Google and you can find almost anything. Well, I looked, what does it take to be successful moving to the Philippines and building a house? I could find almost nothing, literally almost nothing. And the resources that were there, they were poor, extremely poor, fragmented, and not accurate. I said, if I can't find it, I know there are other people that are looking for the same answers that I am. So, just like the Rotary Club does here, you do things to benefit other people out there. I said, what I am going to do, I'm going to create a channel and I'm going to answer every one of the questions that all these people have and I have. I'm going to put it in one place and I'm going to throw it out there. And I'm going to make it extremely accurate because I'm going to share it as I'm doing the experience when I move to the Philippines. I'll be the guinea pig. So that's why I created the blog site, My PI Dream. Okay, final thoughts. And again, I have to apologize. I know I was given like 20 minutes, and I'm sure I blew the 20 minutes here today. And that's the reason why, it's twofold why I did final thoughts, why it's empty. It's a blank screen right now. Because I normally do things impromptu. I don't normally have a script. My channel is all impromptu. Of course, I have the opportunity to do editing at the end of the day. I have many bloopers. I make many mistakes on my channel. And I admit it. And we often put, if you go after the end, I often put the bloopers. But anyway, and the second reason for my final thoughts, the reason I left it blank is because I wanted to come from the heart. When you have something scripted, a lot of times you read the script, it's been pre-prepared. And at the end of today, I just wanted to let everybody know the true reason that I moved to the Philippines, why we decided not to retire in the Philippines and only have a vacation house in the Philippines is because of you, the Filipino people. The spirit, the family, the faith, the kindness. There's so many wonderful adjectives that can describe the Filipino people. that are dying in other places, but it's alive and well. I will tell you, it is alive and well in the Philippines. What you do here at the Rotary Club, what you do to help your community, is extremely, extremely important. You are a pillar in the community, and what you do needs to continue. So you have now, and what you've had in the past. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. James Tanner, for your informative.
So thank you for listening. That was very informative. Thank you both, to our guest speaker. In simple recognition or appreciation to you, so this will be presented by these leaders of the club. Maybe you might want to have a quick come over to have a picture taken with them. Para isang okay.
So I hope you enjoyed today's video that I shared with you for today's meeting of the Lipa South District 3820 Rotary Club meeting. It was a great meeting today, and I hope they enjoyed the little speech that I put before them. I know I went over time, but everybody was so kind, and I hope I kept everybody's attention. Who knows? I would also like to thank both Edgar Reyes in Seattle, who is one of the former presidents of this chapter of the Rotary here in Lipa South, as well as the former District Governor Chito Recto for inviting and making the connection and getting us down to today's meeting. But before I talk about the meeting at all, I want to stop real quick before the sun goes down, and I want your opinion about the table. Remember, we picked up the table the other day, picked up the table in Santa Rosa, and we picked up these chairs here at the Wilcon here in Lipa. Tell me what you think. All right, so the umbrella in place that we picked up at City Hardware, the table from Santa Rosa, and the chairs from Lipa. What do you think? Does it look like it works? Here, let me get a little bit further back so you can get a better look at the entire presentation. Well, I think that's about it for today's video. The main focus of today was the meeting with the Rotary Club. And again, I want to thank all the members, all the kind members of the club there. I met some really great people, and people that can actually help with some of the built here at Villa Feliz. Remember, I need some things. There was a construction person for any parts that we need. Architect. We found an architect. We found two architects there. We found a builder, and we found someone that runs a hardware store that has a blower. We need a leaf blower here. You know, one of those gas blowers that you put on your back, and you put gasoline, and you blow all the stuff around the yard and out in the street right here. So it was a great opportunity to network and find some people. What we'll do is later on, once I get the contact information from the architects and from the contractors, any of the contractors, I'll put them on our vlog site and make them available to you, because I know I always get questions about architects and contractors, so we'll do that as well. And I also want to thank the members for presenting me with this certificate of appreciation for today's Rotary Club of Lipa South meeting. And it basically reads like this. I don't know if you can read it from the camera there, but it says, certificate of appreciation is presented to James Tanner, for being a guest speaker during the club's regular meeting, who presented a very effective and significant medium of information to the club and the society, for having remarkable deeds to bring globally the Filipino cultures and traditions. Given the 17th day of January 2019 at the RCLS Club Center, Sitosona, Barangay Sabang, Lipa City, and it's signed by the president, Yolanda de los Reyes, who presented and presided upon the meeting today, and Norma Rosento, who's the inspiring secretary. We got to talk with her a little bit after the close of today's meeting. And I want to thank all of you very much for this. And you know what? Yeah, I said yes to something. Was I offered a membership in the Rotary?
Yes, you were.
It was noisy inside there. And they said they want to know if yes or no, and I said yes. And oh my goodness,
That was your goal here to be in the Philippines. That to to serve the community.
To serve the community, and
that's one channel.
Now, seriously, they did. They actually did. They put a vote together for all the members today inside the Rotary Club, and the way it works is there are 3 votes. There are 3 votes before you can, and I think it's, I don't know if it's just the Philippines or if that's Rotary International. But today's vote was unanimous inside, and then there will be 2 more votes for 2 other meetings that we won't be attending. I think that's the way I understand it. And they will vote to see, because they take their voting membership very seriously, because there is a service before self type of a mentality, and that's part of their motto, service before self. And that's what we talked about also inside. And same thing with the United States Air Force, service before self. That is one of the core components that we have inside the U.S. Air Force. So I think I said yes. I know I said yes. I did say yes because there was a question at the very end. Somebody said, "Do you know what we offer to you? We would like a yes or no." and I said yes. So we'll see. We'll see if
that's your dream.
We'll see in the voting membership. So let me tell you, you can come to the Philippines. You can come to the Philippines as a foreigner. You are accepted as a foreigner. You are embraced as a foreigner. They don't look at you any differently in the Philippines as they do themselves here. That's why I keep talking about the kindness and the good heart and souls of the Philippine people.
You're always welcome.
You are always welcome here. You're invited into their homes during fiestas, during these meetings. It is truly a great place to call home, and I'm honored and I'm thankful for being part of this community, and possibly one day after maybe 2 votes, part of the Rotary here in Lipa. So thank you for that, and so we'll see what happens there. Board of directors here inside the Homeowners Association here in the Philippines. You don't have to be a local Filipino here. You can be a foreigner, and again, you're embraced.
You can make a difference.
You can make a difference in the community. You can make things better for people, and that's what service before self is all about. So I babbled on enough here, but that's important information. We're closing. We're about to lose some light here. So let's go ahead and close. I don't know what's scheduled for the next couple of days. In Lipa is scheduled for their fiesta. 19, 20, 21, something like that.
January 20.
January 20. Coronation, I think, is on the 19th. The 20th. The 20th is the fiesta. If we have an opportunity, we went to the fiesta last year. I think we went to the fiesta last 2 years. Is it last 2 years or
last year? Too.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you said. The last 2 years.
Yeah.
So if we have an opportunity to share that, it's crazy down there. You know what it was like the last time I showed you. But fiesta is always a great thing to vlog about and show you the experiences and the neat stuff that happens in each one of the communities. There's fiestas all over the Philippines, especially this time of year. If we have an opportunity, we'll make that an episode as well. Again, I babbled on. I need to close out today's video before the light goes away. So if you enjoyed today's video, please give us a thumbs up. Please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on that little My PI Dream heart in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. You'll be subscribed, and you'll be notified the next time we upload a new video. So until such time, you have a wonderful and blessed day.